Things changed fast after Micky McCoy's wife dropped messages online that could flip the entire Charlie Kirk situation. As soon as they surfaced, people began saying that Erika Kirk might now be trying to pull away before anything bigger gets exposed.
Actually tracking for years was Erika. Not Charlie, but Erika was the one being tracked by these planes between 2022 and September of 2025. Both of those aircrafts, SU-BTT, the yellow plane, and SU-BND, the blue plane, showed 68 overlaps with Erika's documented locations, okay? 68 overlaps. I have since been able to add now 73 times that this overlapped, okay?
But what pulled everyone in was the video. Something about Micky looked off, almost rehearsed. His wife appears done with hiding and looks ready to speak. Erika, on the other hand, seems desperate to keep things locked down. And what she's allegedly doing to stop the leaks is exactly why so many are suddenly paying attention. If you're looking for answers, here's everything in order. The odd clips, the timing that makes no sense, a suspicious family trip right before Charlie was shot, and even hints of Erika's links to Egyptian planes and Israel. By the end of this, you'll understand why many believe this may not be accidental at all. Let's start with Micky. Only 23 years old, Charlie's young chief of staff standing next to him when it all happened. I won't retell what happened to Charlie. People already know. What matters is Micky's reaction. In a viral video, while everyone around him reacts in shock, he calmly pulls his phone to his ear. No dialing, no buttons, just instantly, as if he had been waiting for that exact moment.
But in this particular video, he's not standing where you can get a view of Charlie asking a question. So this part is not tracking. Okay, Micky is not standing to the side of Charlie, he is behind. And so if you're saying what earlier, we're supposed to see him, the best place to stand if you're going to get a video of Charlie asking a question is going to be in a place where you can see both Charlie and the person asking the question. And that's just not where he's standing. So that excuse doesn't make sense to me. Now, maybe he's saying Micky was there when he was throwing hats out, and he was there trying to send videos thereafter once things got started. That's all possible. I don't know. Regarding him putting his hands up to his ear, it does sound completely plausible to me that if you first hear a gunshot, you're going to naturally do this, right? That kind of makes sense. You're going to go, what was that maybe? And then I think typically you'd get down. And the issue that I have is I never see him take that phone down. Maybe he does, right? Maybe he does. We don't know for a fact. And so we should be clear that it doesn't look to me like he's just covering his ears there, but maybe he is. What I will say is that it would be unlikely that you would keep holding your ears until you get all the way out, and that you wouldn't duck.
Then Erika added confusion. On national TV, she said her phone was on silent when Charlie was shot, but when she grabbed it, Micky was already calling her. She claimed he called just seconds after it happened.
And that's when Micky started calling me. Called me within seconds.
I called Erika. I just remember it rang like 3 or 4 times. I didn't know what to say. Those are the words that will change someone's life forever, and you have to be the one to say it. That was the first time I've ever called her during a campus tour stop.
And so Micky called me, and I'll never forget him just being like, Charlie's been shot. He's been shot. Get the kids. Get security. Get the kids. Get the kids. He's been shot. I sprinted out of her treatment center. I just collapsed in the middle of the parking lot. I called our security. Yeah. Unbelievable nightmare.
So according to Erika, Micky called her within seconds. If you might remember that Micky McCoy has been under a lot of fire for how he reacted less than 1 second after Charlie was shot. He put his phone or his hands to his ears, looks like his phone, and began walking away. People were highly suspicious of this, and we were told by Turning Point USA, executive producer of the Charlie Kirk Show, Andrew Colvette, that Micky did not make a phone call here. He in fact put his hands up over his ears because the shot was very loud. Remember this.
Last thing, because this is part of the video allegations here, is that they think They're alleging that he was on the phone immediately. He was not. He was taking social videos, which he would send to our group chat, which we would then put on Charlie's social while the event was happening, so you could see like the crowd come in or his interactions. And we were only 2 questions into this event, so he was still getting it out to all the chats he needed to do, which he did at every event. He turns around and it was so blaringly loud, I'm told. You would know this better than I, but this is what I'm told. It was so blaringly loud, and he was so shell-shocked. He put his fingers in his ear, but his phone was still in his hand. He walks away.
Blake Neff, who's also on this Charlie Kirk show from Turning Point USA, who was right next to Micky McCoy when the shot rang out, also explained that Micky McCoy and him separated. It was not until they reconvened after the fact, when he encountered Micky with his lip quivering, that the phone call was then made to Erika and then to his father, Rob McCoy. Candace Owens came out straight up yesterday and said that this was an inside job. People are suspicious because of inconsistencies and lies.
So which version is true? Both cannot be. If Micky wanted to clear it up, he could simply release his call logs. 5 minutes. That's all it would take. But nothing has been shown. No timestamps, no proof, and the silence only makes people dig further.
I don't like the silence from Turning Point employees. I know for a fact one of them, I'm not going to name, has a text message from Charlie the day before he died saying they are going to kill me.
Wow.
Now, he was not referring to lobby when he wrote that message.
Yeah.
If you are his friend and you're interested in the truth, why wouldn't you tell the public that? Wouldn't you just come right out to the public and say, hey, I don't know what happened, but like Charlie thought they were going to kill him. I do not like the way Turning Point is behaving. I've made that clear. And nobody is going to emotionally manipulate me and tell me that it's all good now. And to attack Turning Point would be to attack his legacy. Mm-hmm. Charlie told me years ago that he had, which I shared the messages, he was having a ton of visions and was telling me that Turning Point was going to be death of him. He knew he was going to die young, and strangely knew that I was going to be the only person to defend him. Right. I showed the messages.
Yeah.
I showed the messages.
They tried to say it was fake and you pulled it up and yeah.
We're here now. And I'm going to defend him. I'm going to figure out.
Candace Owens pointed out that only weeks before Charlie died, the McCoys joined Charlie and Erika for what they called their first family vacation together. Mikey's wife even shared that it was the very first one. During that trip, they filmed personal moments of the Kirk family, videos that later went viral after Charlie died, including the scene of Erika holding Charlie's hand while walking with their kids. But people asked, why were they filming someone else's family so closely? Normally, family members do the recording, not another couple filming like they're shooting a documentary. And then, 4 days before Charlie's death, Micky again filmed him during a Korea trip, saying it was the first time he'd ever recorded him like that. The timing raised serious questions.
Yeah, so originally we were supposed to go to the DMZ portion where Trump shook Kim Jong-un's hand, and I'm going to put him on blast, but the United Nations canceled Charlie, didn't allow us to go. Wow. So we were scheduled to go, so we had to go to that lookout point, which was really exciting still, so glad we got that.
Yeah, you got to see it.
Something else that's really interesting is when we were at that Build Up Korea event, Charlie was meeting with all these pastors backstage. Do you remember this?
Yeah.
And there's Pastor Son, S-O-N, and Charlie was talking to him, he was talking about politics from the pulpit, which you can't do during election season in Korea, but he was doing it anyways. And Charlie's like, let me take a picture with you. So he took the picture, and we left Korea. 2 days after we left Korea, the pastor was arrested and is in jail right now for...
No way.
Yeah, I saw that. Because you can't, we have the picture up there. That was 2 days after they arrested that pastor. He's in jail right now for talking about politics.
Meanwhile, Eliza McCoy suddenly disappeared, but Turning Point USA went full speed ahead. Everywhere, podcasts, speeches, interviews, everything revolved around Micky McCoy.
He was promised or told or encouraged that he would become the new Charlie, and it is a fact that that was the number one sentiment that we received from our Turning Point USA insiders following Charlie's assassination, that the supercalifragilistic Micky McCoy appeared to have like an extra spring in his step that made them all a little bit uncomfortable in the aftermath, and that he seemed all too happy to assume Charlie's position. Look, he's already speaking at Liberty University. Why? Because he made some phone calls? Have we lowered the standards for what makes somebody a hero in 2000?
Every clip portrayed him as a rising hero. It didn't feel like mourning, it felt like a media shield, flooding the public before suspicion spread. And then, TPUSA slipped up. In one video, someone is heard telling Micky not to worry about conspiracy theories, that everything had already been handled.
Erika Kirk, where has she been? She's been out of the spotlight almost completely. No interviews, no real public presence, nothing. And at this point, people are wondering why. Is it the attention? Is it pressure? Or is something else going on behind the scenes? Now, let's talk about this moment right here between Micky McCoy and someone named Bernadette. Because when I heard that clip, my thought was the same as a lot of you. Who exactly is Bernadette? And why does she sound like she's speaking for the team?
I don't want you to feel hurt by all these horrible things. We know that you have a responsibility. You're a young man. And I just want you to take a deep breath, like I said, and you know what? Let them spin their conspiracy theories. You're a good kid. You had instructions to call Erika. Charlie had a team that jumped right in there. I know that team. And we just got to move on. We got to push the moving on, and let's get to these midterms.
Yeah. Bernadette, who are you? And Micky, let's slow this down for a second. You had instructions to call Erika Kirk right away. And based on the footage that we've all seen over and over and over again, that's exactly what you did. Quick, fast, and in a hurry. Now here's the part I really want people to pay attention to.
That's right. Thank you, Bernadette. It's crazy. It's just, I
lost for words there, huh, Micky? That little stutter, that pause, that moment where the sentence never really finishes. That's the kind of thing that makes people stop and replay the clip. Not because it proves anything, but because it raises more questions. So now we're left with this. Erika Kirk is out of sight. Bernadette is telling Micky to ignore conspiracy theories and just move on. Micky confirms he had instructions to call Erika and then freezes up right after thanking.
When people are falsely accused, they usually speak up, show proof, or take legal action. But TPUSA has done none of that. No lawsuits, no corrections, just silence, and a non-stop push of Micky is a legend. Candace Owens believes they were involved and is openly calling them out.
Turning Point USA executives to issue a very clean statement saying that I am lying if this is not true. About 48 hours before Charlie Kirk died, Charlie informed people at Turning Point, as well as Jewish donors and a rabbi, that he had no choice but to abandon the pro-Israel cause outright, okay? Charlie was done. He said it explicitly, that he refused to be bullied anymore by the Jewish donors. Can you guys answer? Did he express that? Did he also express that he wanted to bring me, Candace Owens, back because he was standing up for himself? And then did he, just 48 hours later, conveniently catch a bullet to the throat before our onstage reunion could happen? It's a yes or a no. Explicitly, I want to hear from Turning Point USA that I'm lying about that. I want you to say no, it was just, he was feeling a little bit of pressure. No, I want you to literally answer what I have just said. It either happened or it didn't. I'm either making it all up or it happened exactly as I'm saying. And while we're at it, may I ask, what is the name of the Jewish donor who sponsored the Hamptons weekend? Okay. And to Pastor Rob McCoy, were there any LLCs that you or your son were being paid through that sat outside of Turning Point? I'm asking that question genuinely. Yeah, I'm putting the fire here right at the feet of Turning Point because I am disgusted. I am genuinely disgusted. I am looking around and wondering whether Charlie's entire life was the Truman Show. None of you guys are behaving in the way that you should be behaving, okay? There is no way you are letting these lies fly unless, as I'm hearing, unless it is true that there was a big payday that was on the line. And if Charlie radically stated that he was done with Israel, if Charlie said he had no choice but to abandon the pro-Israel cause because of, and I quote, Jewish donors, the behavior of Jewish donors, if he said that, yes or no, well then, I don't know, maybe some people didn't want to take that risk that he was gonna become Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson at Turning Point USA with so much presence across college campuses. Maybe they didn't want to take the chance. You see, I'm just one person, so it's easy to just try to cancel my life and lie on me every second of every day. But Turning Point USA, I think, got a little bit bigger than Charlie, and I'm no longer going to allow this lie and this narrative. So answer the questions, yes or no. And I'm going to, again, challenge you to lie. And if you do lie, I'm going to expose the lies, and I'm going to start dropping videos, actually. So that's where I'm at. Enough of the games, enough with trying to allow Israel to wrangle a narrative that you...
She says their pattern is clear: deny, distract, disappear. And people notice that when something is being hidden, that pattern always shows up.
I view the Charlie Kirk assassination as a military hit. I do not know who called the hit yet, but it's military. There's no question in my mind that it was a military.
Foreign or?
Well, I don't view the U.S. military as being controlled by the U.S. I mean, there are a lot of people, we've been globalized for a very long time. I don't know that there's decisions that are made in Ukraine for America. I mean, this is the tentacles of the U.S. military. It's a much broader and longer conversation that needs to be had. I mean, I think since JFK was assassinated, I don't know who's in control of anything, right? Much of what we see in the political realm is just an illusion. We're talking about what's happening in Congress, and decisions are made in boardrooms, in my view. With Charlie, I think that with everything that I have uncovered, there was very clearly a faith infiltration that happened. And I'm putting faith in quotation marks because Charlie would have believed the people that came to him and told him to grow the organization and, to become the boots on the ground for faith. He cared very deeply about his faith. And the characters, the cast of characters and the pastors that are around him, rotten, like very rotten. The McCoy's, Rob McCoy, unbelievably rotten, and I've been covering a lot with
Erika, people say, is trying to silence Mikey's wife, the only person who seems willing to break from the script. Candace Owens then caught something else. Every time someone at TPUSA mentions Mikey, they add a word before his name: the heroic Micky McCoy, the amazing Micky McCoy, the brilliant Micky McCoy. Why the repetition?
It's obvious to me that Micky McCoy was the person that they wanted to launch as the new Charlie. That's very obvious. The way they brought his YouTube channel back with a speech from Mikey, and everyone was kind of trying to soft sell Mikey to us, and was like, who's this kid? You're 23. Why are you the chief of staff of anything? Who are you actually? And you're brought in by Rob, your dad, who is dirty. I mean, very dirty guy. I covered more of that yesterday. He just gives me the sleaze and the ick. And it just is very strange. I felt like they tried to manipulate us into accepting this, almost like they had, like, Mikey's going to be this person. Then we see Mikey, he's a hero, and he just walks away right after somebody, like, that doesn't make any sense to me. And yeah, with Erika, a lot of people on the internet have been going into her past, going into her parents' past, and, just speaking about these things.
Israel defense contractors, parents, stuff like that.
Yeah, I've seen all of that. I respond to that on my show. And what I've said to everybody is I'm starting with what happened on that day, what happened leading up to his assassination, and the people that catch my attention are people who are telling
It sounds like everyone got the same memo. Candace Owens made it clear she will not accept Mikey replacing Charlie.
Think that you are going to replace Charlie Kirk, okay? Kings are born. You don't just get to depose and tell us that we're going to follow this individual, okay? I'm one of the Masons of Turning Point USA. You put a shill in Charlie Kirk's chair, in Charlie Kirk's company, and you try to tell us to follow that individual, I will be an enemy of you. There will be nothing that can stop me, okay? And I want you guys to say, this is not a threat, this is a promise. There will be nothing that can stop me. I will release every single text message. So to those of you who are trying that, I'm seeing the messages, I am telling you to back off right now. Like right now, don't do it, okay? Don't you think about it. I know exactly who you are. I know exactly who you were that were exerting pressure. Don't you pretend to be noble now and say nice things about Charlie Kirk and think you're gonna slide into his chair, okay? Over my dead body, which I'm sure can be.
And when Erika appeared on Fox News, the moment she was asked if the shooter had been caught, she didn't say yes. She said she trusted our team, then mentioned evidence and autopsy reports, and said something that stood out. I wanted to say what they did to my husband.
We get into the room. One of the law enforcement guys comes in. It's very sweet, but what do you say to someone whose husband just was assassinated so publicly? I said, I've been doing this for 30-some years. He said, I will never tell you that you cannot see your husband. He said, but I, in my professional opinion, think that you should wait to see him once he's at the mortuary. Because I don't think you want to see him like this. And the room got quiet because half the room knew it's probably a good idea. And the other half of the room was like, there is no way she's listening to you right now. And I responded back to him and I said, with all due respect, sir, I said, I want to see what they did to my husband.
They, not he, not the shooter. Who exactly is they? Candace Owens openly said, this feels like an inside job. She even believes Erika may have been tracked by foreign agents, possibly influenced before everything happened.
Things we're actually tracking for years was Erika. Not Charlie, but Erika was the one being tracked by these planes. Between 2022 and September of 2025, both of those aircrafts, SU-BTT, the yellow plane, and SU-BND, the blue plane, showed 68 overlaps with Erika's documented locations, okay? 68 overlaps. I have since been able to add now 73 times that this overlapped, okay? And 29 of those instances also happened to include Charlie. Charlie was also present. These are all the instances in which this plane, 68 instances that this plane crossed with Erika. And I'm also going to say this includes overseas as well. So my instant question becomes, why didn't Turning Point acknowledge that this plane was familiar to them? When I was taking all of these figurative online bullets, someone could have easily said something, right? That's kind of a repeat thing in this investigation. Josh Hammer lies, I get attacked, Turning Point just stay silent. They know he's lying, but they allow the lie to flow. Alex Clark lies, I get attacked, I'm telling the truth. Turning Point knows it, but they kind of allow this like Catholic thing, lie to flow. And the influencers are allowed to lie. Nobody at Turning Point ever just steps to clarify that I'm onto something or I'm telling the truth about something. And when it comes to these Egyptian flights, the math on this is indisputable. There is less than a 0.00000001% probability, okay, under random distribution models that these Egyptian planes coincidentally landed around Erika at these times. Like I said, this plane was not just with her in America, it was also tracking her overseas as well. I flagged this because I was alarmed because I thought it was tracking Charlie, and I'm telling you that this plane, in addition to Charlie, and primarily actually was tracking.
And now, a new twist. Reports claim Erika may be 8 weeks pregnant, but Charlie Kirk died 10 weeks ago.
Has happily revealed that she is 8 weeks pregnant with Charlie Kirk's child, saying it was him, leaving his final gift to the world. The only problem with that is Charlie Kirk died 10 weeks ago. The widow of Charlie Kirk has announced that she's pregnant with what would have been their third child together, except there's a slight issue. The dates don't quite add up, with even Charlie Kirk superfans saying, the math just ain't mathing on this one. Vice President JD Vance was the first to congratulate the expectant mother on Twitter, saying that the child will be a light in the darkness that will hopefully get to grow up in a quite peaceful America, something that his father never got to experience. I will love and cherish him, because if it isn't him, I would recommend an abortion, as if he were my own son. We are all Charlie Kirk now. We've all been where he has. This weird congratulatory message has led many people to rekindle the rumor that Erika Kirk and JD Vance may have been hooking up after Charlie Kirk's accident.
So what's really behind all this? No one knows for sure, but someone does. And the silence, the polished interviews, and perfectly timed praise make it feel like something bigger is being controlled. Maybe one day the truth will finally come from someone who was actually there. Until then, the only thing we can do is keep asking questions, curious about the real story. Hit subscribe and join the conversation on Taylor Tells All, where we dig deep, ask the tough questions, and uncover what others won't. Drop your thoughts in the comments and let's figure out the truth together.